Thank you for joining us in Pro Wrestling Unlimited Live. Today it is Friday, April 14th, 2017. We will be taking your calls here in just a little bit. We're going to get into the news first. So, the Superstar Shakeup. Let's talk about that. Well, first off, before we talk about the Superstar Shakeup, let's see who's here on the live chat with us. All right, we got David's Productions, we've got Walsh, we've got Boss Gamer Bo. I'm just going to call you Boss Gamer, because I don't know how to say B-O-A-H-H. Crosser Smith, Chris Gomez, Nicholas Schultz, Eminem, Signature Kevin, Jeremiah Gray, Justin Wright, Andres Sosida, Philip Stevenson, Daniel 316, Derek Boach, Daniel Hernandez. What is going on, everybody? The champ is here. Champ 39. Jay Flight. No Laura. All right. Sorry for the little hiccup, guys. We had, like I said, we had a connection issue. Captain Obvious, you said you emailed me. Well, let me pull up my email, and we'll see what's going on. I don't know if I got an email from you, but I can check it. I can check it for sure. Let's pull it up. Why am I still... how did you send the email? Did you send it through the website, or did you just send it to the PWUunlimited@gmail.com? What's going on, Chris Coleman? All right, Captain Obvious. Matt, gotcha. You are Matt. Okay. I know what email you're talking about. I did respond, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on it. I did respond, I think. Oh, no, you did send me another one I have not seen. Okay, I'll take a look at that as soon as we're done with the live stream here. But let's see who else is a Forever Pair. Then Now Forever. What is going on? All right. So, head back over here. The Superstar Shakeup. Let's run down everybody who got, I guess you could say, drafted, if you want to use that word, who got drafted in the Superstar Shakeup. Going to Monday Night Raw, we have Apollo Crews, The Miz, Maurice, Dean Ambrose, Kurt Hawkins, Bray Wyatt, Heath Slater, Rhino, Kalisto, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Elias Samson came up from NXT. Now over on the SmackDown Live side, we've got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Primo and Epico of the Shining Stars, Jinder Mahal, Charlotte, Rusev, Lana, Tamina, and The New Day have all come up, or all been, I guess, switched rosters. Now, ones that intrigue me, of course, Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, because they switched the IC and the US title. But I know we're already going to get Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, and that's a big one that I think is, going to be a great match. I think Kevin Owens, AJ Styles can be an amazing match. Another thing that I think would be good, Charlotte and Naomi. I think Charlotte and Naomi can be great as well. Then you go over to the Monday Night Raw side and you say, okay, what new matchups can we do there? Kalisto and Neville in the Cruiserweight division. Or Kalisto and Austin Aries. Or Kalisto and TJ Perkins. Those can all be good. Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. And that's a big one because, not Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks. Because a lot of people thought Sasha Banks was going to get moved to SmackDown. And when Sasha didn't, it was like, oh, wow, why didn't they? And we really don't know. I know they want to do Sasha Bailey at SummerSlam. But for them to bring 2 women to Raw, and technically only 1 to SmackDown, they're saying 2 with Tamina, but Tamina was going to be on SmackDown regardless. So, I don't know. I think Sami Zayn is going to have some really, really good matches on SmackDown, maybe with like Baron Corbin. AJ Styles in his singles will be amazing. Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. Then you go Raw, you got Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. You've got The Miz over there that can have great matches. Rusev and Randy Orton can have a good match on SmackDown. Rusev and Baron Corbin can have a good match on SmackDown. I mean, they've got some interesting things with this Superstar Shakeup. Now, the next thing we want to talk about, Dean Ambrose and Renee Young. Now, there's the big thing about, okay, when did they really get married? Now, we see that there's a thing that's a marriage certificate or a marriage license, I guess it is, that is saying they got married back in October. But WWE is claiming they didn't get married till just this past Sunday. So really, it's more like they may have got married in October, but had a low-key thing, maybe just went to a chapel or a courthouse in Vegas where they live. And then this week, they had the wedding. Maybe they filmed it for Total Divas. That right now is unknown if they did film it for Total Divas. But, hey, congratulations, Renee Young and Dean Ambrose. They're married. I don't know why they were trying to keep it a secret-ish this week on SmackDown. Renee was trying to hide her hand, but Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens kind of called her out on it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if WWE does anything with this. And a lot of people are saying that because they were keeping this a secret and then WWE found out last minute, could be why Dean got changed, because they were punishing them. I don't know if that's true. So, we'll have to wait and see. Now, Seth Rollins. If you watch this video here, Seth's got a new finisher, it looks like. Now, I can't 100% confirm this is going to be his finisher or it's just something he did in a dark match. But there is the possibility that because he defeated Triple H, he's no longer associated with Triple H, that he's going to be using this new move instead. Now, we've seen this move before in pro wrestling. Kenny Omega did this move to Okada at the Tokyo Dome match at Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of a play off of the Rainmaker where you grab him from behind, you spin him around, and instead of hitting him with a clothesline, you hit him with a knee. I don't know, like I said, if Seth's going to be using this going forward as his finisher. I can see it being a finisher. It's a really cool move. It's a almost out of nowhere kind of move. I mean, not as much as, like, say, the curb stomp-ish or an RKO. But I do like the move, and I like that he's getting away from the pedigree. I always thought that his finisher would be like the Falcon Arrow. Maybe the Phoenix Splash, but that's more like a signature move to me. But I thought maybe he can go to the Falcon Arrow as his new finisher. But Nicholas Schultz, yes, shout out to Cena's nose. He did use that knee a little differently, but he did use that knee to break Cena's nose. All right, we will be taking calls here in just a few moments, but I want to say if you guys want to help out Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you can do so by heading over to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. It doesn't take any money for you guys to donate to us, just a few minutes of your time. You go over to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. You just take a few minutes to interact with the website. If nothing comes up, you may have an ad blocker on. Turn the ad blocker off. You'll be good to go. It works the best on mobile devices and tablets. What it would be is you're going to go to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. You're going to interact with their website, either downloading an app or watching a 15 to 30 second little clip. And then the advertisers on that website then send us the donation. It comes from them, not you, only takes you a couple minutes. Also, if you're here in the live stream right now, you can hit that super chat button. You can donate to us that way. You can also donate to us on our GoFundMe, gofundme.com/helpupgradepwu. And finally, if you want to get one of our t-shirts, you can head over to our TeePublic store. Link is in the description below, where you can get any of our t-shirts, but our designs don't have to just be on t-shirts. You can get them as stickers. You can get them on coffee mugs, notebooks. There's a wide variety, cell phone cases. So head over to our TeePublic store. Check that out. We've got roughly 6, 7, 8 different designs you can check out. So, yeah, we'll go from there. And if you guys want to call into the show, the phone number is 559-475-8473. The lines are now open if you want to talk about anything we've talked about so far today. But now we're going to get into Backlash. Backlash is the next SmackDown Live pay-per-view. And we know that there's going to be possibly, at least we know of 2 matches that can happen. Now, AJ Styles is going to challenge Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. I thought this match was going to come a lot sooner, but I'm hearing that this match may be held off all the way to Backlash. The other match would be Randy Orton defending the WWE Championship, and that match may be against Eric Rowan. I'm also hearing Baron Corbin as of this morning, so there's still like a month, almost month and a half, about a month till that Backlash does take place, so we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. But all right. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I have a question about AJ. Sean's Real Entertainment said AJ will be on Raw this Monday.
No, AJ Styles is not going to Raw. If AJ Styles was going to go to Raw, AJ Styles would have went to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. AJ Styles is already set on SmackDown. He's going to face Kevin Owens for the U.S. title, and that's just to buy time until Randy Orton's free, and then they're going to do Randy Orton, AJ Styles, WWE Championship. AJ Styles is not going to Raw. He was going to go to Raw, and they changed it and threw Bray Wyatt to Raw instead. Okay, you broke up there. I don't know what happened, but the call just dropped. If you want to call back, you can call back. Phone number is 559-475-8473. And I got to say thank you to 420 Sheezy Crash, who just donated in the super chat $50. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. He says the best news wrestling channel. Thank you to 420 Sheezy Crash for the $50 super chat donation. And again, if you guys want to call into the show, 559-475-8473. The lines are open. So as far as Backlash goes, Backlash is like the end of April. So that's going to be a while. SmackDown has a lot of things going right now, like Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. That, from what I'm hearing, is not supposed to take place at Backlash. That's going to be a SmackDown TV show feud. I don't know where they go with Nakamura after that feud, but we'll have to wait and see if they put Nakamura right into the title picture. But like I said, AJ is supposed to go into the heavyweight title picture. So maybe they can do Nakamura versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title? I don't know, but that could work. Again, right now, Nakamura, they put him in this feud with Dolph Ziggler because Dolph Ziggler's a great worker. Dolph Ziggler can have good matches with Nakamura to help the main roster crowd learn who he is and see him have good matches. Because, yes, they haven't booked Dolph well on the main roster here in the last year, but it's not because Dolph's bad. Dolph can have good matches, especially when he has good opponents like Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, as far as Randy Orton and Eric Rowan goes, I don't know why they would do that. I fantasy booked it, thinking maybe Rowan is trying to get retribution for Bray Wyatt. But then this morning I heard the name Baron Corbin, and I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Let's see what you guys are saying. Nicholas Schultz says Corbin as WWE Champion. Philip Stevenson says, do you think they should have a new Brood? I don't think so. The Brood was cool back in the Attitude Era. Then they did it 2 different times. They did it with Edge and Christian, and they did it with the Hardy Boys. But they're getting away from gimmicky characters like that. They don't want vampire characters anymore. I think like the biggest, who's like a character in the WWE right now? there really isn't anybody that's just so over the top character. Everyone's supposed to like be quote unquote real, even though we all know, you know. All right. Warren Uprising says, I have the biggest unanswered question. If Drew is in NXT, why is he still advertised for What Culture Pro Wrestling, and why is he still What Culture Pro Wrestling champion? Good question. He's got indie dates. Yes, he signed with WWE. He had indie dates already set up for before he signed with the WWE. WWE is going to allow him to finish those dates, like he's going to be on the upcoming Evolve show. The WWE is going to allow him to finish those dates, drop the What Culture title, and then once he's done, he's done. He's going to be WWE and NXT all the way. So with that, yes, he's a What Culture champ, but he will be dropping the title most likely on their next big show. All right, I got to say thank you to the Champ39 who just donated $100 in the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Champ39. He said, the #1 wrestling news channel. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, I know McIntyre or Galloway, whatever you want to call him, he is going to be on the upcoming Evolve show. I think he cut some sort of promo about it on WWE.com. I don't know exactly. I didn't see it. But yeah, they're going to let him finish all the dates no matter where they're at. It's the same with Matt Hardy. He had a couple dates with both Hardys. They had a couple dates they have to finish off before they're full-time WWE. WWE does this a lot. They did it with Rhino. If somebody's committed to another promotion, an indie promotion, they're not going to let them go do TV-ish stuff depending on the circumstance. But if they're already signed on for another indie promotion to work a date, WWE will allow them to fulfill their commitments because they're not going to make them look bad. You know what I mean? So, Isaiah Young, what do you think about Seth Rollins' new finisher? Could it be better or something different? We've already talked about this, but I do like it. It is something different. He's finally getting away from the pedigree. I mean, he's been away from Triple H for how long now? And he just defeated Triple H at WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'm glad he doesn't have the pedigree anymore. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes, today I was listening to the Edge and Christian podcast, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they were saying that when they were with the Bruise, that Michael Hayes had this idea of that match that Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton's gonna have. What's it called again?
The House of Horrors match?
Yes, the House of Horrors match. They were saying that they were thinking to do that with the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian back in the day, but I don't know if that's true.
I mean,
but Edge was saying that's probably Michael Hayes' idea right there.
It could be. I don't know if it is true or not. I mean, they've had matches similar to... Well, we don't even know similar because we don't know what this House of Horrors match is. And Edge and Christian may not even know. They may have been pitched a match back in the Attitude Era that could have been called the quote-unquote House of Horrors. And then in the end, it could be completely different because I don't really think they even know what this House of Horrors match between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton is ultimately going to end up being.
Yeah, and the other thing they were saying was that they were sitting in a cafe or something with Michael Hayes and the Hardy Boys talking about that, but I know you know how they Christian and Edge play around together.
Right. I mean, they could have been pitched a match with the same name. We don't know. It never happened, so a lot of matches have been pitched and never happened before.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say, too, is I don't think SmackDown got big names. I think Raw got more of those bigger names during the swap.
Right. I mean, the biggest names that looks like SmackDown got was Charlotte, Kevin Owens. You can say Sami Zayn's a big name, and maybe Rusev, but it's weird because we don't even know if they're going to have Rusev and Lana together.
Yeah. Because I think, main eventers, mostly of them that were from SmackDown, they went to Raw, like Dean Ambrose and them.
Right, Dean Ambrose, Miz, Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Yes.
I felt like they were the main eventers for SmackDown, and after that, they don't have nothing. Just John Cena, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, but John
Right.
Cena's not going to be there for a long time.
Cena's
so,
going to be gone for months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to start pushing Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say thank you for the
That's
call.
all
All right, thank you for the call. Have a great night.
You too.
But yeah, SmackDown, they did lose. Their star power is not really there. They kept AJ, which is great. I think keeping AJ Styles on SmackDown was probably the best move of the Superstar Shakeup, not moving AJ. But now you think, okay, they got Kevin Owens, but he's a U.S. champ, so right now he can't go any higher than the U.S. title. You got Sami Zayn. They can feud him with Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Maybe throw him out there to Randy Orton as like a filler program. But as far as top guys on the brand, what you got to do, you got to push Baron Corbin. That's like your next top heel, if you really think about it. Like AJ Styles is a kind of heel, kind of face at the same time. So if you really look at it, Randy Orton's a babyface. The top heel on SmackDown right now is Baron Corbin, if you really, really think about it. I didn't think about that till just now, but with this Superstar Shakeup, Baron Corbin is the top heel. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Okay, lost that call. Anyways, yeah, I just really, after that last call, I just started thinking about it. Baron Corbin is the top heel on SmackDown, and that's gotta say something, I guess, for what they believe in him. How much they believe in him, I guess you can say. Well, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. David's production says, Shinsuke is champ, yes or no? Maybe not right away, maybe after a year on the main roster. We got to see, in NXT, he got over big. But we've seen a lot of guys get over big in NXT, and then the main roster crowd's just kind of whatever about him. So we have to give Nakamura some time on the main roster to see where he goes, I guess you can say. See how the main roster crowds react to him, and I know he's going to get over at first. He's going to be big for the first couple months, but it's really going to be that 6-month, 8-month, 9-month, year mark that we see, okay, Nakamura's going to, put the title on him now. It's going to work. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I heard you talking about Baron Corbin being the next heel, but do you think he could be like the next, not the real Undertaker, but kind of like the Undertaker?
No, there's not going to be anybody like the Undertaker again. I mean, the closest we're going to get is if Kane ever comes back. There's not going to be another character like the Undertaker. Like I was saying earlier, there's nobody that's like a character anymore. The Undertaker was the last quote-unquote character. All right, thanks for the call. Have a good night. All right. Chris Coleman says, Karma for SmackDown, anyone? Are you asking Karma as far as Awesome Kong? Is that the name Karma you're trying to say? Signature Kevin says, do you think Miz should have stayed on SmackDown? He could have, but at the same time, I think Miz kind of ran his course on SmackDown. We saw the whole stuff with him and John Cena. Then we saw all the stuff with him and Daniel Bryan, and that was never going to pay off. So moving him over to SmackDown, maybe he can do something with Kurt Angle. Maybe he can have a feud with the Authority over there, and then that can eventually pay off. I don't know. He can have some good matches on SmackDown. He can have good matches on Raw. The Miz is not bad. The Miz's big thing is his talking, though. And I know Talking Smack's going to be a little bit hindered with no Miz, because Miz is on like every other episode, but they'll make it work. I think it's going to really he'll do well on Raw. I think Miz is very, I don't want to say underrated, because he does get pushed and stuff, but I don't think the fans give Miz his due sometimes. Daniel316 says we should have a new Spirit Squad. Oh, really? I don't know. Philip Stevenson, will Bully Ray ever come to WWE? Now, that's a good question. Right now, Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray Dudley, whatever you want to call him, is under contract with Ring of Honor. He is under contract for a full year. He signed with them in March. I want to say it was March. It was either February, March, March. He signed a 1-year deal. Now, here's the interesting thing. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated and said that the Bully Ray character came 1 day shy of debuting in the WWE. He said that they literally had a storyline in place for him to turn into Bully Ray. They were going to split the Dudleys up. Bubba was going to go off on his own. Devon was going to retire and take that backstage role like he did. And the day before, I think on like a Sunday, they said, never mind, we're not doing it. He was distraught. I don't know about distraught, but he was upset. He said he was almost devastated because he really wanted to bring the Bully Ray character to the WWE. And when they nixed it the day before it was supposed to happen, that's when he knew, you know what? This company's only going to use me for nostalgia as Bubba Ray Dudley. I'm not going to evolve my character here like I did in TNA. And he left. He's doing indie stuff, and he signed a 1-year deal with Ring of Honor. All right. Nicholas Altomer, I hope I said that right. If the show gets back together, what factions should they feud with? Some people are saying the Club because you got Finn Balor there with Gallows and Anderson. But here's the first thing. I don't think the Shield should get back together. The people hate Roman Reigns so bad. Yeah, you think, well, if they put Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose with Roman Reigns, it'll help him. No. I think it would hurt Dean Ambrose and or Seth Rollins. I really think. And then you say the Club, but that wouldn't work because Finn's a babyface. Gallows and Anderson are heels. So unless you're going to turn Gallows and Anderson or turn Finn, it wouldn't work. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
What's up?
How's it going? What's your question?
Oh, yeah. What was your favorite match at WrestleMania?
Favorite match at WrestleMania? Probably... I liked the Cruiserweight title match, even though the crowd wasn't really into it because they were still getting to their seats. I liked the ladder match a lot. That was probably the best match of the night. And I liked Goldberg and Brock. That was an amazing sub-5-minute match.
Yeah, I liked AJ Styles versus Shane the best.
That was good, but I don't know if I could say it was the best match of the night.
It definitely started out the crowd to get in the show.
Right.
But thanks for taking my question.
All right,
Have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Have a good night.
Yeah.
But yes, I know a lot of people have been saying, AJ Shane was one of the better matches of the night. And it was a good match, but I don't know if I'd call it one of the better matches of the night. For what it was good, but there was a lot of holes in that match. All right. Let's see. Brandon Skinner, when do you think John Cena and Nikki Bella are going to come back? I honestly don't think Nikki should come back if she's going to come back at all. Nikki did an interview recently, like in this last week. I don't know who it was with, but she said that WWE almost didn't let her come back at all after her neck surgery. She said that they were so worried about her re-injuring her neck that doctors almost didn't clear her, the WWE doctors. But they did. She came back last year at SummerSlam, and yeah, she wrestled for, what was it, another 6-7 months, WrestleMania, and I really think she's going to be gone. Maybe we can see her come back 1-2 more times if they have like a big female storyline going on, but as far as Nikki coming back full-time, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, John Cena, I know he's got Daddy's Home 2. He's filming with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. I think his other movie, The Pact, is supposed to start filming shortly after that. So maybe we see him right after SummerSlam? Maybe? Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hi.
What's going on? What's your question?
So my question is, what are like 5 things that you think could like help Roman Reigns at all?
Turn him heel. Let him be more real, less scripted. You can really tell Roman's over-scripted. But 5, I don't even know if there is 5 things that I can think of. Like I said,
this is like my thing, I would say, maybe like de-push him, but then like bring him up, but not as like.
But they tried that last year when they put him in the feud with Rusev for the U.S. title. That was the exact reason they did that with the U.S. Championship. And then as soon as he got the U.S. title, boom, they threw him in the Universal title picture. They already tried that last year, and it didn't work.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so that was the whole plan of him not going into the title picture for the Universal title when they first implemented that title. They were like, okay, we're not going to push Roman as the biggest guy on Raw right now. He's still going to get a push, but he's not going to be the main guy. And when they gave him the U.S. title, I don't know why they didn't let him defend that title at all. I mean, he did against Rusev, but then they just threw him right into the Universal title picture without letting him even have a run with the U.S. title.
And what do you think about his vest?
It's his attire. I mean, there's nothing really to think about it.
Like, no, but don't you think it's kind of cheap because, like, you mentioned Roman Reigns versus Rusev, especially at Hell in a Cell, when Rusev was taking, like, shots to, like, the throat, and then... Do you think, like, he should get rid of it?
It's pro wrestling. It really doesn't even matter.
Good point.
Right. But thanks for the call. Have a good night.
Yeah, hold on. By the way, just saying this is the OBMA from, like, your live streams.
All right, cool. But yeah, Roman Reigns wearing the vest, it really doesn't matter, him wearing the vest, because, I mean, it's pro wrestling. It's not like they're really getting hit hard, so he wears that vest to protect himself. It honestly doesn't matter. Walsh is asking, how long do you see the Hardys holding on to the titles, and what do you think they'll do when they lose the titles? I could see them holding on to them until maybe SummerSlam. I don't know who could take the titles from them, but yeah, I could see them holding on to the SummerSlam. It really all depends on if they can be broken. It really does. We can't really predict much of the Hardys until we figure out if they can do the broken gimmick. That's the one big thing, is we can fantasy book and think about, well, excuse me, okay, the Hardys can do this, and they can feud with these guys, and they can hold the titles till this time, but it all really depends on, are they ever going to be broken in the WWE? Once we can find that out, if it's no, they never will, or yes, in X amount of months they will be, then we can finally say, you know what, this is what the Hardys are going to be doing. All right. Matthew Smith says, do you think Cruz should turn heel? If you ever saw Apollo Cruz before WWE, his name was like UA Nation. He was an amazing heel. So yes, let him stop smiling all the time and turn the guy heel. He can cut good heel promos. Just let him stop smiling all the time. Like, why is he always so goddamn happy? Joe Herman is talking about Triple H starting a faction. He says do Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman. Philip Stevenson is asking about the women's tournament, and we haven't really got any other info since Mania weekend as far as they're doing a tournament this summer. There's going to be 32 women representing 17 different countries, I think it is, and that's really all we know. All right, Christian Barron has joined the chat. What's going on, Christian? Daniel 316 says, surprise of the century, House of Horrors match is just the Chamber of Horrors match. That's funny. If you guys want to call into the show tonight, the phone number is 559-475-8473. The lines are open. Let's go back here and see what you guys are still talking about in the chat. Isaiah Young says, Shield reunion, face the club. Rollins, Reigns, Ambrose versus the Balor Club, remnants of SummerSlam 2016 Universal title match. I don't see it happening. Everybody wants it, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. Daniel 316 is asking, is AJ a face? He's kind of both. He's a heel and a face at the same time, I think. Like, he's a tweener. I think he's going to face Kevin Owens, so he'll be the face there. But then when he goes to face Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, he'll be the heel there. He's a guy that can go back and forth no problem. Ryan Begrandy, let me see. You're asking. Okay, I see. Yeah, we just talked about that. The Hardys, if they're going to be broken or not. All right. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello.
What's going on?
So, if they were to build this Drew McIntyre up, and of course they're setting up Hideo Itami versus Bobby at NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Right.
If they were to build up NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 again, then they would, make Bobby maybe drop the title to Drew and then have Drew go against Aleister Black at NXT TakeOver Houston, which is before Survivor Series.
They could do that. I don't know what their plans are long term for Bobby Roode, but that would be a good match, Drew McIntyre and Aleister Black. I know they are very high on Aleister Black, but Aleister Black may also be working the UK show, so I don't know exactly how they're going to work all that out with him in NXT and doing that UK show.
Okay. Well, that's all I want to ask.
Pardon?
Well, that's all I want to ask.
All right. Thank you for the call. Have a great night. But yeah, as far as Bobby Roode, I know they want to build NXT around Bobby Roode right now. Like they really want to, because the whole thing before is we are NXT, but the Bobby Roode thing is no, I'm NXT. And so it's a different dynamic because everyone's always been the fans helped NXT grow to where they are. The fans helped NXT get to where they are. I mean, the only person that really didn't do that as champion was Samoa Joe, but he held the title briefly, and I think Kevin Owens was kind of against the fans because he was a heel. But with the Bobby Roode thing, they kind of turned it on, you know what, I don't care about the fans. And the champs are usually like, the fans are great in NXT and this and that. So it's different. I know they want to keep the title on him for a little bit, but he could drop it to McIntyre in Brooklyn. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Do you have any indie wrestlers that you want to come to WWE right now?
Any women I want to come to the WWE right now?
Any indie wrestlers?
Any indie wrestlers? Well, I know they're interested in Matt Riddle. They're waiting for him to get more experience, but he would be great to come to the WWE. I know they're interested in Kyle O'Reilly. They're interested in Adam Cole. I know there's some more UK guys they're interested in possibly bringing in for the UK show, but that all really depends on if they get signed by the ITV people that are doing World of Sport.
Yeah. How about Jimmy Havoc?
Jimmy Havoc is actually a backstage producer in WWE. Jimmy Havoc is actually the one that came up with the list of Jericho.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Jimmy Havoc isn't wrestling. He's actually a backstage producer. A lot of people don't know that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the call and have a great night.
Bye.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes, Tim, I want to ask you a quick question.
Go for it.
What? Because I'm just getting here late, so I don't know if you talked about it or not yet. But what's going on with this Hardy thing? Are they going to ever settle this thing so it can be broken, Matt?
To be honest, nobody knows. Impact still says that they own the rights. The Hardys still think they own the rights. I know Matt and Jeff last weekend did an indie show, and they were kind of the broken Hardys, but they did have their WWE tag titles with them. So really everything's up on the fence right now. And it's like I was saying earlier, you really can't try to fantasy book where they're going to go with the Hardys because we don't know if they're ever going to be broken or if they're never going to be broken. Like I said, right now everything's on the fence as far as who really owns the gimmick, who has the rights, and who has the final say to it. Nobody knows.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, kind of serves Vince McMahon right. I mean, he took Cody's name from him, and then Drew McIntyre was Drew Gallows when he went elsewhere.
Right.
So I mean, I guess he's getting a taste of his own medicine.
I get what you're saying.
And there's one more question.
Go for it.
If he is broken,
right,
wouldn't it be great to see him and the Wyatts either go against each other or actually team up?
Oh, him versus Bray Wyatt if he was broken?
Yeah.
those wouldn't just be good matches. Those would be some of the greatest promos in WWE ever, probably.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The promos. I mean, the match. Well, I'm not too sure. It would have to be Jeff, to be honest with you. I think Jeff's the best wrestler.
Yeah.
But in the same token, the promos for that would just be great.
Oh, amazing.
I know. Well, we can only dream. We can only dream.
Right,
All right, man. I know other callers want to get on, and like I said last time, I talked so bad about people that was talking to you for a long time, so I don't want to be put on that list. All right.
It's all good.
I wish I'd ask questions. All right.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks for the call.
You too.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello? Hello? I can't hear. Your phone's breaking. It's all choppy. Okay, we lost them. Let's see. I saw somebody asking about Zack Ryder. I don't really know much on Zack Ryder's condition. I know he was given like a 6-month time frame to be out of action. It's been 2 or 3 now. 2? Oh, last I heard he was on track. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Oh, I just want to ask about you in the famous. You talking about Chris Ray is coming back.
Okay, I can't understand you. You're. I don't know if you need to turn your volume up. You're very low. I can't hear you.
I was saying that you in the famous. You said Chris is coming back.
Okay, I still can't understand what you're saying. Maybe if you can talk louder.
Sean Zoo in the famous.
What about him?
He said Chris was coming back.
Yeah, I again, I can't understand you. Sorry. All right, let's take this call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
How's it going?
Hey, this is Mike. Good. My son got me hooked into listening to you. His name is Derek.
Oh.
He called. We were listening to a WrestleMania post-show.
I appreciate
driving
that.
through Orlando.
I appreciate that.
And, yeah, kind of interesting show. We're from Michigan. We do a lot of WWE shows, and just wanted to say enjoy your show. And I'm not too interested into the brand split myself, but maybe it'll start wearing on me.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
All
right. Thank you for the call.
Good work. Enjoy the show.
All right. Have a good night. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, it's Tim. Calling for Dandy.
How's it going?
I have a question about Maria and Mike Bennett.
Okay.
When are they gonna come back to WWE?
Last I heard that they did have a talk. The WWE and Mike Bennett did have some talks, but as far as him coming in, I don't know how far the talks got. I know both sides were interested, and I don't even know if Maria would come in with him at first. Maybe I know she's gone back to school. She's trying to get a degree. I'm not sure exactly what in. It might be business. But I know that WWE is interested in him. He's interested in coming in with working with them in NXT. But as far as how deep the talks have gotten, if there's even a contract in play, is unknown at this time.
Okay.
Right.
Is that why she hasn't been on Impact for a while?
Yeah, her and her husband left Impact I want to say right around the time Impact Anthem took over. And and she had said like the middle of last year that 2016, after 2016, she was taking time off to go back to school.
Okay.
Yeah, so the last time we saw Maria was when they did the whole Laurel Van Ness wedding.
Okay, well, thank you for answering my question.
Not a problem. Have a good night, and thanks for the call.
You too.
All right. Yeah, Maria Kanellis wanted to go back to school. She had been saying it for a while there towards like the middle to end of 2016, and she had that plan in place. She wasn't going to change her mind on that or anything. She really wanted to go to school and be like, I want to get my degree. I want to do this. And I think it's smart because, you're not going to be wrestling forever, especially nowadays. Wrestlers don't stay around as long as they used to. All right, I got to say thank you to Robert Cathy, who donated $5 of the super chat Says, I swear we should be paying you for this live stream. This is better than Sean's entertainment. Wrestle Talk. Cheap heat altogether. Thank you. Thank you for that $5 super chat donation. Take this call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I was wondering the early plans for SummerSlam.
Early plans for SummerSlam. I know Brock Lesnar, of course, will be defending his championship. We don't know against who. I thought maybe it would have been Roman Reigns, but now they're pushing the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar stuff all the way to WrestleMania. I know as far as women go, they really want to do Bayley versus Sasha Banks. And if they do that, they're going to really play up how they had their amazing Brooklyn match 2 years ago. But as far as that, I haven't heard really anything else. As I know right now, they're booking towards Payback. They're booking towards Backlash. They're just trying to get past WrestleMania right now. And then they're going to work towards SummerSlam, of course. But right now, they just want to focus on, okay, WrestleMania is over. What are we going to do right this second? I don't even know if they know everything they want to do all the way to SummerSlam. Because WWE doesn't book that far in advance most times. They have a rough idea, but 90% of the time it all gets changed by the time, 6 months rolls around.
All right, thanks, man. You trend the show.
All right, thank you, and have a good night. But yeah, with WWE, it's hard to say, okay, they're going to do this for sure in the next 6 months. Because Vince McMahon changes his mind all the time. I mean, look at this Superstar Shakeup. AJ Styles was supposed to come to Raw. Monday, he made the decision to change it and put Bray Wyatt on Raw. Bray didn't even know till right before the show started, he said. Apparently. Philip Stevenson says, what do you think of Candice LeRae? Candice LeRae is great. If you don't know, Candice LeRae is actually married to NXT wrestler Johnny Gargano. They actually got married late last year at Disneyland, California Adventure. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
Can I eat ass?
Go for it. What's your question?
Can I eat ass?
All right. And we're blocking that person. You have been blocked. First person I have blocked from phone calls. All right. So, Ryan Bergrandi said he's going to bed. Have a good night. Thanks for the call, bud. Oh, Ruben. Ruben says Alberto Del Rio versus Triple H. This stuff is getting crazy. Alberto's always calling Triple H out on Periscope, saying, the man with the big nose and no balls. And then Triple H apparently did a Periscope with WWE fans recently and kind of took a dig at Del Rio, saying that his quote-unquote office is gigantic. Yeah, there's real heat there. Del Rio hates Triple H. Triple H has never liked Del Rio. When Del Rio was brought back recently in that last run, it was all Vince. Triple H didn't want him to come back. Triple H has never liked Alberto, and I don't think he ever will. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I wanted to get your opinion about Sonic Entertainment.
I don't even want to talk about him.
Because he's been talking about Kristen possibly coming back and all that.
Who?
Kristen.
No, Christian isn't coming back. Christian is fully retired.
Because when he said that, I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Christian is retired. He's doing a podcast with Edge. They're working on season 2 of the Edge and Christian show. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, Christian came back. His first match back on SmackDown, he suffered a concussion. WWE doctors told him, you need to retire now. He retired. He hasn't wrestled since. Christian is not coming back. The only way Christian will come back is on the network for the Edge and Christian show, or if they ever put him in the Hall of Fame. All right, thank you for the call. The Champ 39 says, will WWE push Sami Zayn? He seems like he's going nowhere. I mean, they can now on SmackDown. They need names on SmackDown. He's a name. He's somebody they can maybe not give the WWE Championship, but depending on who's the champ, he can be a contender. I mean, you don't have to give him the title if you don't write out fully, I guess, trust him as the champion. But you can trust him to have great matches. You can trust him to have a good feud with a champion. I mean, we'll most likely probably always see him around the U.S. title picture, the mid-card title picture on SmackDown. But if they need a babyface, say someone like a Baron Corbin is the champ, and Randy's not really, he just came off of a title, and they don't want to put him in the title picture right now. You need a babyface. Yeah, you can throw Sammy there. You can throw Sammy to the title picture, but I don't know if they'll ever give him the championship itself. But as far as the number one contender, yeah, I can see that. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, is there any news on WWE 2K18?
All I know is that they were around for WrestleMania weekend, taking body scans of some wrestlers. Other than that, as far as features, who's going to be put in the game that hasn't been in the game, or who's going to be re-added, I haven't heard anything.
All right. Have a nice night.
Have a good night. Thanks for the call. Yeah, we usually don't hear much about the next video game till right around SummerSlam time. That's when they usually, right before SummerSlam, they like to announce who's going to be on the cover, who's the pre-sale bonus, and then they do the big 2K SummerSlam weekend party. They've done that the last couple years where they bring in a bunch of media and they have the wrestlers there and they let people, they tell them, oh, well, we're working with this and here's some features. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, around SummerSlam time is when we usually start hearing the rumblings on what's going to be in the new video game and stuff. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hi, hello. So, this network is about professional wrestling, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if Rey Mysterio's face has ever been shown during a wrestling match on accident or anything.
Yes, Rey Mysterio was unmasked in the WCW for a while.
Oh.
Yes.
When was this?
Oh, I want to say when he feuded with Eddie Guerrero in like 98. I'll tell you right now. Yeah. I don't know why they took the mask off of him, but yeah, he was unmasked. He was never unmasked in WWE. I mean, he feuded with Jericho when they were fighting over the IC title, and there was a match where Jericho pulled the mask off of him, but you never saw Rey's face. You never saw Rey's face in WWE. But yes, he was unmasked in the WCW. I could tell you exactly right now when it was unmasked. It was 1999. He was unmasked in 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have another question.
Sure.
Do you think fat niggers fuck better?
And you're gone. And you have been blocked as well. Come on, guys. Let's keep this, clean. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Oh man, I was looking up that. I was gonna give you an answer to that. I was telling that guy that about the unmasking.
Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 98 or 99.
It was 98, and it was against Kevin Nash.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I remember now that you say that.
Yeah, but don't be bad. And that was actually the last week I stopped watching Nitro right after that. Because then they started getting LWO and all kinds of everybody was a WO. So I just got crazy.
Because I know.
I just ask, since I'm on the line, I want to ask: did you hear that Jim Cornette rant? This latest rant on what's his name? Vince Russo.
No, I have not heard it.
Oh my goodness! You got to look that up.
What did he say?
He was talking about Vince Russo said something about when the WWE fans cheer, you deserve it and stuff like that. It's really weird for a man to be saying that to another man, and they might have some homosexual tendencies. And oh Lord,
I heard that from Russo.
Yes, but you gotta hear Jim Cornette's response.
Gotcha. I'll have to look that. I'll have to look that up.
Yes, I'm telling you, no. If you do, man, I'm not lying, man. Wear some Depends or something, because you might wet yourself laughing.
Wow.
Jim Cornette laid into me with
I bet.
All right, Rose, you should do that now while you're trying to these callers.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
No problem.
Yeah, I heard the whole thing about with Vince Russo calling fans and wrestlers, men telling men they deserve it, the homosexual stuff. I heard that from Vince Russo, but I didn't know that Jim Cornette had a kind of a response to that. I'll have to look into that. Philip Stevenson says, should Billie Kay and Peyton move up? I think they should stay in NXT a little longer, but with the women's tournament, you can bring them up and not really lose much as far as depth, because they'll have all these women that are coming in through the tournament that they can sign and bring to NXT and fill those 2 spots. So, yeah, I would keep them in NXT a little bit longer, but if they needed to move them up to Raw or SmackDown, it wouldn't be bad. All right. Naman Gupta says, what about Andrade? I don't know. I thought he was going to come up this week, the same week as Elias Sampson, but he didn't. I know he had 2 matches taped at last week's NXT tapings. So we're going to have to see what happens if they do bring him up or if they wait a little while. They could wait. Maybe they'll wait till around SummerSlam time or maybe next week. I don't know. Let's see. Robert Cathy says, when is Ember Moon moving up? I don't know. I haven't heard anything on any females from NXT coming to the main roster at all. The only name we have right now that is going to be coming up sometime soon, I think, is Andrade Cien Almas. The Drifter came up this week on Raw, which was kind of a weird introduction to him. He was seen in the crowd during the Charlotte Nia Jax match, and then right before the big, was it 8-man tag, he just randomly appeared at the top of the stage. So no, Laura saying, so no way Jose to the main roster. Not right now. Daniel316 is asking about Shelton Benjamin. I haven't heard anything other than he's been cleared. Both sides want to work together. He wants to come back to the WWE. WWE wants him. So I don't know what's holding it up. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello, you're on the air. Going once. Twice. Gone. All right. Let's see. Sexy Star to WWE. I highly doubt that. She's working towards a boxing career now. I know her husband is a boxer. She wants to start boxing. So if she's going to be boxing, there's no chance in her to WWE. Nam Gupta. Any news on DIY? Keep them in NXT for a little while longer. They can't take all the tag teams that are good. They've got, who do they have now that are any good tag teams? DIY, Authors of Pain, Heavy Machinery. Those are really your 3 tag teams you have in NXT now. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but who else is there? Who else is really there? Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello?
Hello?
You're on the air. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. You're the guy who's streaming right now. That's right on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I have a question. You don't know when Kane is coming back?
To be honest, Kane may never come back. Kane is running for mayor of his hometown. So they don't even vote on that till next year. So he's going to be campaigning for the next year. Plus, Kane owns an insurance company that he's been really, really putting a lot more work into recently. So there is a chance we may never see Kane back in the WWE again, especially if he does become the mayor of Knox County.
Oh, he's going to be a mayor?
He's running. He declared, it was either this week or last week, I think it was early this week, he declared that he's running for mayor in 2018. He's running as a Republican.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know, I was hearing YouTube at the channel, like, Goldberg returns to Slammiversary and Hogan.
TNA?
Goldberg?
No.
Yeah.
No. Goldberg, if Goldberg ever wrestles again or whatever, it's going to be WWE. Hulk Hogan, I don't think he'll ever go back with TNA or Impact Wrestling. I don't see any of that. No.
Yeah.
False information.
Back to Slammiversary. I was hearing that, but I don't know if it's true or it's only like just saying like that.
Yeah, I don't know where you heard that from, but none of that. I haven't heard any of that at all. Yeah, Goldberg. If Goldberg, like I said, if Goldberg's going to be in wrestling, it's going to be WWE. That's where he's going to be whenever he wants to come back, because he's got an open door for whenever he wants back in.
Yeah, I was like, I'm Ruben. I was the guy who said Triple H versus Alberto Del Rio. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
hearing I was hearing every video from Alberto Del Rio. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, Alberto's been going crazy on Triple H over the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like, oh my god, that's a big oh, I don't know, like.
I mean, yeah, he's never gonna go back, but Paige, she's still under contract, and they're making that movie about her.
Yeah, the thing, that's Alberto. He don't want her to go back. Like, that's the thing. Like.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. She's supposed to get cleared to start training again in the summer. So if she does come back to wrestle in WWE, cool. If she doesn't, wouldn't be a surprise if she doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, it was an honor to talk. It's my first time making a call like that. Like, it's my first. I don't know. Like, it's my first time.
Hey, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Can I subscribe to you? Like.
Oh, yeah, of course. Always. Just hit that red subscribe button, turn on the notifications, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Yeah, the thing from Braun Strowman moving the ambulance, that's fake. That's right? Or it's not real? Like, it's a fake thing? Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. Have a good night.
Yeah.
All right, before we go any farther, I got a shout out. 420 Sheezy Crash for another $20 donation. He said, do you think El Generico, a.k.a. Sami Zayn, and Kevin Steen, a.k.a. Kevin Owens, will make a last team together for WWE like Generico always follows Steen, always the best channel show? Are you asking if they should be a tag team? I kind of lost your question there in the middle. If you're asking if they should be a tag team, I don't think it would work in WWE because one's a super heel and one's a super babyface. But, I mean, as far as always feuding and, like, you know, one of those lifelong feuds, oh, yeah. Because they always have great matches against each other. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
You like simply to bring back bragging rights to the pay-per-view?
Can you speak up? I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry. Do you think they should bring back, like, bragging rights to pay-per-view since, like, there's two different Raw and SmackDown brands?
If they should bring back who?
Bragging rights.
They could, but that's what they're using Survivor Series for. If you remember last year, Survivor Series was all about Raw versus SmackDown. So I don't know if they're going to do that again this year, but if that is the plan, then bragging rights, there's no need for it at all.
I hope they do because, like, that was, like, a good pay-per-view, and, yeah.
I mean, it worked back in the day, but if they just want to do it all at Survivor Series, do it at Survivor Series because it works. Because Survivor Series is one of the quote-unquote Big Four. And in years past, they've really not been doing anything newsworthy with Survivor Series. So, making Survivor Series the Raw versus SmackDown show, perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the call. Have a good night. All right. Native Star says, everyone in NXT should not, capitalize not, move to the main roster yet. They'll be ruined. Oh, yes. There's a lot of guys in NXT that should not be coming to the main roster at all. But, let's see. DeAndre Dukes. Do you think the super kick is still considered a finisher or not anymore because it's too overused? I've been saying for at least 2 years now that the super kick is no longer a finisher and that it is highly, highly way overused. It's like the DDT in the 90s. Jake the Snake started using the DDT as a finisher. Then everybody started using the DDT. Then they came up with their own DDTs. And, I mean, Bobby Roode's got his DDT. But so many guys just use random DDTs. Like Randy Orton's got his hanging DDT and the float over DDT that a lot of the cruiserweight guys use. Yeah, it's kind of becoming the new DDT. Everybody just likes to randomly super kick people in the middle of their match, and nobody gets pinned from it unless you're facing Dolph Ziggler, I guess. He's the only guy that can legitimately use it as a finisher. I don't even know. The super kick is, like I said, Way too overused. I would agree 100%. Robert Cathy says, question, why can't Roman Reigns be an arsonist? Answer, he can't carry matches. Wow. It's a good one. That's a good one. Daniel316 says, is Hogan ever returning? I don't know. I honestly thought that he would make an appearance at Mania, and it didn't happen. So he can. I mean, it all depends on if they want to bring him back in and if they think that the time is finally right to bring him back. So we'll see in due time. In due time, I mean, anything can always happen. It's pro wrestling, and never say never. Let's see. Nam Gupta, next feud for Ty Dillinger. I don't know who he can really feud with in NXT or on SmackDown. I mean, what heels? I mean, Rusev? Maybe? Rusev? That could be a good one, Ty Dillinger and Rusev. But before we go any further, I want to say if you guys want to help us out, you can hit that super chat button in the comments below, right there in the chat, or no cost to you, you can head over to gawkbox.com/PWUnlimited, interact with the website for a couple minutes. If nothing shows up, turn your ad blocker on. Site works the best on tablets and mobile devices. It only takes a couple minutes. Interact, either download an app, watch a 15 or 30-second clip, and you're donating to us. The more you interact with the Gawkbox website, the more you help us out, and I'd highly appreciate it. Also, you can head over to our TeePublic store, link is in the description below, and get any of our t-shirts. But they don't have to be t-shirts that you purchase, because any of our t-shirt designs can also be purchased as a sticker, on a cell phone case, on a coffee mug, on a notebook. There's a plethora of different merchandising options you can get at our TeePublic store. Well, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. If you want to call the show, the phone number is 559-475-8473. The line is open. All right. Fight Night says, what you all think of that guy from NXT this week that loses like Andre the Giant's son? I haven't seen NXT yet this week, so I don't know who you're talking about. Daniel316 says, ever heard of KB Wrestling Reviews? No, I have not. No, Laura says, I wish Jim Ross and Ramiro would be the best two-man commentary team on Raw or SmackDown. Your thoughts, Ramiro? Who's Ramiro? Matt Smith, who do you think? The next SmackDown champ after Randy. To be honest, just give the title back to AJ Styles. AJ Styles, the champ that runs the camp. That's all you got to do. Just give the title back to him. Let's see. Andre Susita. Who do you see returning to the WWE that said that they will never go back to WWE? Carlito could be one. Carlito said in a recent interview that he would consider going back to the WWE now if the price was right. So that's one, because he had said before, no. Maybe him and MVP. Calder, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes, I want to ask your opinion on this JBL bullying thing.
Oh, man. There's so many different stories about this going on. I mean, you can take them how you want. I don't know how many are true, how many are not true, or you even got to think how many are kind of true, but the story's been stretched or something. I know there's a lot of wrestlers that said that back in like the early 2000s and late 90s, JBL would say, hey, yeah, we've been bullying you. If you want us to stop, do this to this guy. Like I think it was John Morrison. They were bullying him when he first came into the WWE, and they told him, hey, you want us to stop, do this to, I think it was Justin Roberts, and we'll stop bullying you because we want to mess with this guy more. And he was trying to always get, I don't know if it was just him though, but he was getting people to do his dirty work for him. But it's not just JBL. Vince likes this kind of stuff. And Vince would never call it bullying. He would always say, oh, we're just ribbing them. We're playing practical jokes.
Yeah, because, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, because what was that guy, Roberts, that wrote that book about the WWE and said that...
Justin Roberts.
What's his name?
Justin Roberts?
Yeah, Justin Roberts.
Right.
He wrote that book. But the main gripe was, that he didn't get credit for the Connor thing. I mean, he wasn't. It's like he had an agenda. Like, well, he just said a little bit about JBL. He bullied me, took my passport or something like that.
Right.
But everybody else, was saying all these bully stories. But I'm just thinking he's giving them a hard time because, I mean, even when The Miz had said that on SmackDown that JBL wouldn't let me dress in the dressing room, even he said in another interview that he didn't. It was something that he had to say, but JBL has been nothing but nice to him, and everybody that has interacted with him that I've ever heard of always said nothing but nice things about him. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's just giving people a hard time, weeding out the people that can't handle it.
Exactly. That's what I'm hearing, because a lot of people were saying, when Miz first came in, he thought he was a big shot because he had been on TV, and JBL not really bullied him, but kind of just like, soft, said he was soft and wanted to test him to see if he really belonged. And some people even say that if JBL didn't, haze the Miz the way he did or something, maybe Miz wouldn't still be around. Maybe Miz wouldn't be able to hack it here in the WWE because of, he thought he was a big shot and then was really quickly shown, no, I'm not. Now I need to learn what I need to do to be here.
And I'm like this. David Otunga is the biggest crybaby in the world. Now, if he's not getting bullied, then hey, I'm not. I mean, if anybody's gonna get bullied, it would be him.
What was funny is, he moved Byron Saxton over to SmackDown this week, and JBL was his best friend. JBL didn't say a single mean thing to him at all.
Well, I think I think that maybe they told him to tone it down a little bit.
Oh, I bet.
I love the heel commentator. I love the heel commentators.
Right.
I used to love Bobby Heenan, and I loved it with the Body did it. And I mean, I remember years ago when SmackDown, when he was doing some commentary, I remember the guy that used to wrestle with the dress. I can't remember his name. The Italian guy used to wrestle with the dress. You know what I'm talking about? Any event? I forgot his name.
Right. I know who you're talking about. Like he was with Nunzio. He was with Nunzio and them.
Yeah. He used to call him Fruit Booty. I used to think that was the most hilarious thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I love the heel commentators. But look, man, I done went over my limit of talking to you. I want to talking about me in these in the chat. So I just wanted to find out your views on the JBL thing. That's all.
I mean, I think some of it's maybe just a little blown out of proportion. Some of it, he may have gone too far one or two times, but you never really know. It's just people saying things. You can't prove everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like this. He wasn't the one that took a dump in Sonny's. He wasn't the one that took a dump in Sonny's bag. So leave it alone.
Exactly.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Have a good one.
All right,
bye. But yeah, like he was saying, the heel commentators. I mean, look at Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. I feel like that was a good combination because Byron was like the fanboy, and then Corey was always there, oh, Byron, why are you liking this, or why are you doing that, or you're just a child, or you're just a fan. And it worked well together. Byron would never, he didn't take any of it personal. He knew that Corey was just playing around. Maybe JBL once or twice took it a little too far, but who really knows unless you were actually there? Anybody can say a story. Anybody can say that this happened or that happened, but in the long run, you don't know. You really don't know unless you were there. So, let's see. What else are you guys saying here in the chat? Daniel Eubanks says, I wonder if Raw should get a new look as far as logos and graphics. I think they're fine for now. They changed up both looks at the draft, and just keep them for now. I mean, wait a year and then change them. I know they just changed everything in NXT. The NXT logo is essentially the same. But as far as, the graphics, the intro, the song, all different. Fight Night says, JBL isn't the first to mess around with other people wrestling. Heck, JBL and Ron Simmons poked fun at Teddy Long at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, but Teddy Long and JBL, Ron Simmons are all really close friends, so they could have said really anything, and Teddy wasn't going to take it personal. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? There you go. Philip Stevenson says it was Vito. Vito was the one that wore the dress on SmackDown. That's right. He was always with Nunzio. That's who it was. Vito. Let's see. What else are you guys saying here in the chat? If you guys want to call the show, the phone number is 559-475-8473. The lines are open. Fight Night says, it's wrestling. Mauro, get over it. It's called ribbing. Wrestlers mess with other wrestlers all the time. Exactly. I mean, yes, Mauro does have some mental health issues. I don't know exactly the full extent of it all. So maybe cut him a little slack. I don't know. You got to know what you're getting into when you get into the WWE, though. Noam Gupta says, Roman versus Strowman, what will be the stipulation? I've heard ambulance match. I've heard stretcher match. Could be either one or maybe something different. We don't know. But those are the two that I have been hearing as far as if they were to add a stipulation to Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, ambulance or stretcher. And either way would be a good way to not have to beat Strowman but not beat Roman at the same time. You can have some sort of finish where somebody else comes in and beats one or the other and puts them on the stretcher or throws them in the ambulance, because you got to keep Braun looking good if he's going to be the next one to face Brock Lesnar for the championship. But they don't want to beat Roman Reigns clean right now. He just came off that win over the Undertaker, so we got to figure something out. Payback's in 2 weeks. Rith Thing says, Ryback never returned to WWE. You can never say never. We don't know. As of right now, he's bad-mouthing WWE a lot, so not anytime soon. Oh, Daniel316 says, Miz could not change in the locker room because he was eating chicken over Chris Benoit's gym bag and was put in wrestlers court and banned from the locker room. One time he changed in the public bathroom. Interesting. Ruben says, Braun Strowman is the new big red machine. Hey, he's like a mix between Kane and the Big Show. They're both big giants. He's the next big giant. They've both gone on destructive warpaths. I mean, remember Big Show when he was on SmackDown? They had one night where he was just going crazy. He flipped over Torrie Wilson's rental car. He threw SmackDown general manager Kurt Angle off of a big old ledge. Kane and the whole stuff with Shane McMahon lighting his balls up with the car battery. But caller, you're on the air. What's going on? All right. If you guys are going to... I got to get a little serious right now. If you guys are going to keep doing this kind of stuff, I may have to just stop calls altogether. If you're going to call in and say rude things or curse words or just... I'm going to have to... I don't want to. I like taking the calls. But it kind of puts a bad image on me. I don't know exactly what to say here, but... I appreciate the calls, the good calls. But if you guys are going to continue, if there's going to be people that continue to do that, I can block some. But if, like this last caller called in an unknown number, I can't block that. So maybe I just don't answer unknown numbers. If you don't have a number pop up, I don't answer you. How about that? Daniel Eubank says, I heard rumors that they're going to be a new WWE championship. They've been talking about getting new titles for a while. They talked about a new US title. They talked about a new IC title. We don't know what's going on with any of those. No Man Gupta says, what's next for Randy? Well, the next SmackDown pay-per-view is Backlash. He's working the Raw pay-per-view Payback, where he's going to have a House of Horrors match with Bray Wyatt. He'll most likely win that because they're not sending that WWE title to Raw. And then he's either going to, last I heard, either at Backlash, put that title on the line against Eric Rowan or Baron Corbin. Some have said they want to see it at Luke Harper, but Luke Harper's babyface, I think. So that may not work. Robert Cathy says, Roman Reigns took the Superstar Shakeup literally in the back of that ambulance. Daniel316 is asking about Roman and his shoulder injury. Is it a work? Yes. Roman is not legitimately injured. Actually, if you watch closely, as Braun right before Braun flips over that ambulance, you can see Roman getting out. If you look at the very back underneath, you can see the shadows. Roman gets out of the ambulance. Let's see. Fight Night says, do you think new wrestlers of today wear themselves out too much? Daniel Bryan retired. Seth has injured knee multiple times. Balor has been hurt multiple times. I don't know, because if you really think about it, even back in the day, guys were working a lot. Guys were working multiple times a day. I mean, who was it that I just listened to an interview recently? I can't remember exactly who it was, that said they were working 5 days a week. Sometimes it was only 4, but sometimes they were working them 4 days with 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So it's not like this is something new that these guys are working 5 days a week and working. Because really, if they're in WWE, they're working the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they're working either Monday or Tuesday. But it's only one a days. No one's working 2 a days. I know last year when Dean Ambrose was the champion for like a month, he did 2 a days. When Roman Reigns was suspended, that was very brief. So some of them maybe are working themselves too much, but at the same time, it's not like it's anything new. Guys have been working. I think that's what it was. I listened to a thing with Jake the Snake Roberts, and he said back in the 80s, 90s, they were working 4 or 5 days a week, twice on Sunday, twice on Saturday. So like I said, it's nothing new. Brandon Carbone says, what are your thoughts on the WWE going from 75,000 seat arenas for Royal Rumble, then to a 19,000 for the next year? Do you think they should keep going bigger in size or stay small? For the Rumble, it doesn't matter. I feel like, they go to that big, they went to, the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. They fit like 60, 70,000 people, and they're awesome. But then the next year they're going to go somewhere smaller. That's fine. It's not like it's WrestleMania. It's not like they're getting people flying in from all around the world for the Royal Rumble. So it's not like, like I said, it's not like there's people flying in from all around the world. All right, you're blocked. Philip Stevenson says, do you think Chavo will ever come back to the WWE? Not anytime soon, because there is a multi-superstar or multi-wrestler concussion lawsuit out on the WWE, and Chavo is involved with that. So as long as that concussion lawsuit's going on, I don't see it happening. No Man Gupta says, will the Young Bucks ever come to WWE? It's possible, but not for a while. Back in last, I want to say November, December time. I think it was December, they signed a new 2-year deal with both Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I forgot that. What was my question? Never mind. Forget it, Tim. I'm sorry. I can't even think about what I was going to ask. I'm sorry. Later.
That's fine.
All right. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Well, back to the Young Bucks. Yeah, they signed. It was right after the final pay-per-view of last year, so I want to say it was December. Final Battle. That night or that next day, they signed a 2-year deal with Ring of Honor. It was like a Ring of Honor / New Japan co-deal. So, yeah, if they were to come to WWE, let's see, if they signed that in December 2016, 17, 18, they couldn't come to WWE until at least 2019. Let's see. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
What do you think of those animated WWE movies?
Oh, you're talking about like the Flintstones and the Jetson movies?
Yeah.
I think they were all right. My kids loved them. They weren't bad. I'll say that for sure. None of them are bad. They played perfectly on what the Flintstones is supposed to be. They played perfectly on what Scooby-Doo is supposed to be. And they played perfectly on what the Jetsons are supposed to be. They didn't change. Because really, Warner Brothers is who's doing these movies. They just got the licensing from WWE to make them. So essentially, it's not like they're changing any of the story or any of the characters on what they're supposed to be. They're just adding WWE guys to them, and they're not bad at all. They're entertaining.
Yeah, my little cousin loves them. He likes the, what is it, the surf shop one?
Oh, yes. I have seen that one as well. I forgot about that one, actually.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
Not a problem. Have a good night. Thanks for the call. But yes, WWE doing all these animated movies with Warner Brothers, and then they did the ones, I think it was it Sony does Surf's Up? I don't know exactly. I think it is. But it's just another way for them to get their product out there, their name out there, more money to them. And they're not bad movies. My kids love them. I know other people's kids love them. They do well in sales and stuff. So, hey, it's more money to WWE. They get to team up with different studios. So, hey, it's a win-win for everybody. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, hello?
What's going on?
Nothing. I just had a couple of comments and maybe a question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Regarding this Mauro and WWE thing.
Okay.
I think what a lot of people are really missing is that there's a difference between messing with someone and then messing someone with a severe mental illness.
Exactly.
And I don't think JBL just said F you or whatever, and then Mauro went manic, and I think a lot more was done. I don't think we'll ever know what was said or done.
No.
Really.
And I think, to be honest, they're going to come to some sort of terms and some sort of agreement, and then they're going to make Mauro sign a non-disclosure where he can't publicly talk about it.
Oh, I wouldn't sign that for $1 million.
I mean, we'll have to see.
Someone's got to speak out about it.
Oh, I know.
We just had a girl at my local high school. She hung herself the other day.
Oh, wow.
Because she was getting so bullied, and her parents was at that school for 2 years begging to do something.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is all, it's crazy. And first of all, JBL should have been fired. I would have fired him 10 years ago.
But it comes from above.
Yeah, and that was another thing I was wanting to get at. I would have fired JBL years ago. But the main thing is, I've done research for 3 days. I have not found a publicly traded company who gets away with this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a publicly traded
Exactly.
company. Why isn't these hedge funders saying, hey, you're making us look like idiots, and that's going to cost them money in the end.
I mean, they're partnered with the Be a Star campaign, which is a non-anti-bullying thing.
Isn't that owned by the WWE?
I don't think it is. I think they may have bought into it. I can look it up right now.
Because everything I look at has WWE.
Yeah, I think it's an organization that they work closely with, and they do most of the stuff for.
Yeah, because I know it's a 501c3, so
right.
It's a but I don't, and he's. I would have fired him forever after what he did in Germany, because if he was a German, he would have been thrown in jail for that. You know, when he did the whole goose step in and stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
If he would do that today, everyone would be on him. He wouldn't be able to breathe on his little private island that he's got down there without someone, you know.
Right.
But you bully a mentally ill guy to the point where he quits a six-figure job. And a lot of these, I've lost a lot of respect for so many people this last week. And because they're like, well, Jim Cornette, I'll call him out. Jim Cornette said, well, why'd he go that way? Why didn't he just take a ball bat to him or run him over? I'm like, yeah, that's what you want to tell someone with a mental illness.
Right.
Don't handle it like a man. Go beat him with a ball bat and run him over. I'm like, it's just a lot of, and there's some people that he has bullied to the brink, and now they're sticking up for him. I'm like
The Miz.
And Lance Storm.
Right.
Yeah. The Miz, let him go back do the real world or something. Well, I just grew up, you defend a bully, you're just as bad as a bully yourself.
Exactly.
And he's a multimillionaire, and he has, he's only there one day a week. What's there to gripe about?
Yeah, I don't even know.
And it's sad. And that's another. Dave Meltzer's. You've done the same thing, but Dave Meltzer really hit it home by telling his story about watching the kid fight, and he didn't do nothing.
Oh, I did hear that. Yes.
Oh, what are all those guys? Well, you can't really expect nothing much because people watched Brody bleed out and didn't do anything.
Right. Plus, the Meltzer story, he said he was in, like, grade school. So, I mean, you're a kid.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? But he said it did affect him for a long time.
Oh, it does. I mean,
yeah.
Isn't there reports that he's actually physically late? He did the Michael Hayes. He knocked out Michael Hayes on that plane.
Okay, yeah, I did hear about that.
That's because he was cut, and Michael Hayes punched him in the forehead where he's, well, that's not really bullying now that I think about it. He just got what he deserved.
Right.
Drunk. But I like to think, I love your channel, by the way. I just
Thank
found
you.
it
I appreciate
few days
that.
ago. I mean, I really, you're straight to the news. You're not like some other people just fabricating, and you're about the news. But
exactly,
I just don't see if this JBL thing don't heat up. I don't know. The stockholders of this company must have Down syndrome. I don't get it.
I can talk about these stockholders not being that great for days. Like, when they tell you that there's X amount of people that subscribe to the WWE Network, but only a third of them really pay for it. Like, the stockholders don't ask about that. They just think, oh, you got almost 2 million people subscribed, but only a third of them or 3/4, are actually paying. Like, they don't ask any of those questions. I would if I was a stockholder. I want to know exactly how much money I'm making, not how much money I could be making.
Could you imagine if that was Netflix?
Oh, Lord.
Even Hulu got away with their free stuff with ads because they're like, man, we're bleeding money here.
Right, but at least they're saying, at least they're up front. Because when WWE did the conference call right after Mania, the day after, they said, we have 1.9 million people subscribed to the network. And that's all they said. It took one person actually asking, I think it was a reporter, not even an investor, saying, well, how many of those 1.9 million are actually paying, not getting it for free? Like, they tried to tiptoe around that. They wanted to make their network seem bigger than it is, but when you have X amount of people not paying because you gave it to them for free, that's money lost out.
Yeah. I don't know why they give away WrestleMania, which
that's the biggest head scratcher you could ever think of. Why would you give Mania away for free?
But it's like my nephew. He's 18, and he keeps asking me what they're going to do about JBL because he's been with that bullying because of high school and stuff. And he knows about Pat Patterson and all that too because he's a wrestling fan. I said, well, Jamie, if they didn't do anything about the Cream Team, you really think they're going to do something about this?
I think they're just going to tell JBL to tone it down for a little bit and try to wait for it to pass.
I'll be glad when I wish he'd do that to someone like Strowman or Bass Rutten once. Oh, man, there's several MMA guys that want to talk to him.
Oh, I bet.
But he won't have the guts to do that, though.
Right.
It's easy to bully someone who's 2 feet taller than you and it's probably never been in a fight in his life.
Exactly.
A little harder that someone that could probably break your jaw by just looking at you the wrong way. Because I want to see. I hate saying this, but I just want to see him on the ground crying. It is funny. To me, that would be like just deserve. I know everyone's doing this top up. But you're never going to touch McMahon.
No.
You're never going to touch that company.
And
you're
and to be honest, that's why JBL keeps doing it because Vince finds it all funny. So he thinks,
I wish there was a way he could sue.
I mean, maybe, but it depends on if they come onto some sort of agreement or if they make him sign something. I don't know. No one really knows what's going to happen.
My aunt says under the American with Disabilities Act, the feds could actually go after him and pound him for millions of dollars.
Maybe, but then it depends on what Mauro really says in the end. If he, he tells them, oh, don't do anything, or we don't know.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. Everyone now is saying that he had some kind of part to play, but no one's reporting on what did he do to JBL. Did he? I don't get
I
that.
haven't heard anything that way.
You know, I just it's been a crazy week between him and El Patron, and that's
man,
talk about burning bridges,
right?
Jeez.
And his quote unquote wife still involved, still contracted with the company.
I would be surprised if they're suing CM Punk for what he said about a doctor. I would be shocked because I'd sue El Patron.
Right.
I can't see how he unless they're just gonna say, well, what are you gonna get from him? You know.
Exactly.
But I think this is one of the crazier weeks.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's also one of the saddest weeks if people really step back and look at it. It's just, and I don't even think about that whole Page thing. I tried to explain it to my nephew, and I just couldn't do it. Tell him to go talk to his dad.
It's an unfortunate circumstance. It just happens.
Well, what do you think they're gonna? You think they're just waiting out her contract and gonna fire her? Or?
I mean, to be honest, I think as long as they're still working on that movie with The Rock, they're gonna keep her around to help promote the movie once it's done. And then when her contract expires, I think they'll let her go unless she gets cleared and she comes back and she plays super nice and she does everything they tell her to do. Maybe she could stick around. But I think really it depends on the movie thing, and then they just wait out her contract. That's what it sounds like could happen.
I think that's what they'll do too. What do you think they'll? But if they get rid of her, they gotta get rid of the other one too, don't they?
The other who?
Xavier Woods.
No,
because she wasn't married.
No, they're not gonna let her go over that. That's a whole different thing. That's an invasion of privacy thing. It's not like she put those out. It's not like she went out and did a pornographic movie while still under contract with WWE. It's something she did in her personal time that got stolen from her and then put out to the internet. It's not like she intentionally did it. So they really can't do anything to her for that.
It wasn't Sunny Side Up Part 2.
Exactly.
They should that's how they should punish JBL, is glue his eyes open and make him watch that for about a week.
Oh, Lord.
Well, thank you for taking my call, man.
Not a problem.
I love you. I love your show, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, brother.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to comment on what that last caller was talking about, which started the thing between JBL and
Mauro?
the other guy,
Mauro?
Yeah, Mauro.
Okay.
Yeah, what started it was because Mauro got an award saying that he was the top commentator in wrestling, and JBL was called one of the worst. And he just started ribbing on him.
Right. What it was is it's Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer, and they do the year-end awards every year, and they have wrestlers, they have reporters, they have former wrestlers, and they have all these different people within the wrestling industry vote. And then I think there's a fan vote as well, and they all voted Mauro as the number one commentator in professional wrestling for the year 2016. So Mauro was all happy about it. Mauro was like, oh, wow, all these people think I'm the best. So he retweeted it. And JBL was out there like, oh, why are you retweeting this? This has nothing. It was more of like, why are you even caring about this? It has nothing to do with WWE. And that's, I think, what all sparked it.
Yeah, that's what it started. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a jealousy thing, but I mean, WWE looks at themselves as a self-contained unit. They
Exactly.
have their own magazine. They, they only deal with NBC. Or, else USA is NBC.
Right.
So they deal with Universal.
Yeah.
They sold Titan Sports to Universal. So, it is what it is. But,
Right.
I mean, that's what stemmed the argument. Now, did he take it too far? Like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know. But, I mean, I think he was just acting, look, man, you work for WWE. It doesn't matter what Dave Meltzer says.
Right. But, I mean, there has to be more to it than just that.
I think it is, but I mean, like the other caller, I sympathize with him about, his family and everything, people getting bullied, and he knew about it. broke my heart to hear what he said about that young lady that went to school.
Right.
That killed herself. But in the same token, I mean, you know, you gotta look at, like he said, it comes from up top. It comes from Vince. If Vince doesn't have a problem with it, then there's really not much anybody can do.
Well, because like with the Justin Roberts issue, Justin Roberts had his passport stolen overseas. He had to go get a new one. They wouldn't let him come back till he got a new one. And then it was, I think, the next Raw. They all had a meeting. There was a big meeting backstage. And as Vince was walking out, he whispered to Justin Roberts, "You ever get your passport back?" So Vince knew everything going on and just thought it was funny and just kept playing it up.
Yeah, but from my understanding, it wasn't even JBL that took the passport. They just assumed it was because
JBL. Well, apparently JBL told others to do it. JBL was like the ringleader.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean, yes, from my understanding, I think he told, I want to say Morrison or Nitro.
Right.
From Eminem.
Yeah, that's who it was.
But then they said no, and then somebody else had did it.
Yeah. Because he was telling guys, he's like, I'll start leaving you alone if you guys do this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know, but like the Josh Roberts thing, like I was saying earlier in an earlier phone call I made to you, I mean, but his gripe, I mean, yeah, he mentioned that, and he said JBL did this, but his main gripe was about the Connor thing, and they lost all credibility with me.
Right.
I put the book down behind that. I was like, I'm done. I'm mad because that's $12.50 I'll never get back.
Right.
But, one more question. Did you ever read the AJ book yet?
No, I have not.
All right, I just picked it up, you know, so I'm going to try to sit through it. I heard it was good. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's what I've heard.
But she was another one that was dealing with mental illness.
Right. Her thing, it's a family thing though. Her mother had it, she had it. So.
But see, that's the thing, you know. She had it, but the funny thing is, they had her playing the bully. I don't know.
Well, she's actually said in recent interviews since she's been doing her book tour that they wanted her to do way more than that she did, and she was told them no. She said, "I flat out said that I wouldn't go as far as they wanted me to go."
Yeah, I heard that when they was like, you know, they was like, "You crazy chick," and I think CM Punk was like, "I love crazy women," and all of this. And the funny thing is, if you look back on those on the network, you actually see the look in her face like it really bothers her.
Oh, yeah.
That when she said that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted to clear that up with the caller. Just let them know that, man. It stemmed from something else, but like I said, we don't know the story.
Exactly.
And to just fire the man, I mean, if the stockholders are not really making a big deal about it, then I wouldn't either. And as far as that 1.9 million people that got the network, hey, they should not have gave WrestleMania and Payback for free.
Oh, yeah.
The day after, everybody's going to be canceling.
Exactly. But you also got to look at it's also, you know, with this whole JBL thing, our sponsors going to want to pull out now. They've got Cricket Wireless. They've got Snickers really big with them. If this gets too big, are the sponsors going to then want to pull out and not sponsor them because of it? That's another thing you got to look at.
Yeah, but I mean, in the same token, if they could get him to tone it down, and if they do like they did Tuesday, like with people with those JBLs or Bully, if they can keep the cameras off of those, and you know he plays nice for a little while, hopefully, like this Page thing, it'll just blow over.
Well, I think the Page thing is already blown over, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like I'm saying, it'll blow over.
Right.
Del Rio could just shut his mouth and stop talking about it. But other than that, you know, it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
But, you know, Del Rio's like that drunk uncle at a party, you know. He's amusing, and 5 minutes later, you just like, get away from me.
Exactly.
That's what's happening. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame he's burning those bridges because, I mean, Vince liked him, but since he messed with Triple H and he's the heir apparent to the throne, apparently, he's not going to, he's done.
Right.
All right, well, look, I don't want to run my time up, man. I know other people
not a
trying to get
problem.
in here.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey,
Hey, Tim, how you doing? I just wanted to call and say that I really do love your channel. I appreciate the good work you're doing, man. That's all.
Well, thank you for that.
I just want to know if I can ask you a few questions. That's all.
Sure.
For example, when you look at the Wyatt family, I'm just wondering, like, do you think like the Wyatts are like done to death because they've been buried so many times and they'll never be what they once were, like they were in 2013 when they first debuted?
I mean, when they first came in, like you said, in 2013, they were new, they were different, they were something that we hadn't seen in a while. And so everyone wanted to know, what exactly they're going to do with these guys. They're more of a character than anybody else, like I talked about earlier with people having characters. They're more of a character than anybody else. And I feel like they tried to split them up, 2015? They split them up for a little bit, and they brought them back together really quickly. Bray has evolved. Bray's changed his character around slightly over the last 3.5 years or so. But Rowan and Luke Harper, they've pretty much stayed the same. They kind of used the Wyatt family to get Braun Strowman onto the main roster, and now he's like the main guy on Raw. So you can say they've run their course, but now that Bray Wyatt's on Raw, he's got a whole new group of people he can wrestle with. He's by himself again. Maybe they can do something new with him that maybe we haven't seen yet. So maybe together, yeah, you can say they've run their course a little bit. But now splitting them up and seeing what they can do apart, it intrigues me a little.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to know, like, say, what was up with them.
Right.
Other thing is about this year's Royal Rumble when Randy won it.
Right.
Like, do you think we'll ever see someone fresh and new, like, say, a Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, or, say, a Baron Corbin win, like, a Royal Rumble that helps build new superstars instead of seeing someone who's already an established star already win it?
Well, last time we saw that was it 2014, 2015 when Roman Reigns won the Rumble?
Yeah, it was Roman.
Yeah, that was the last up-and-coming guy that won the Rumble. But as far as going forward, I mean, depending on where he's at next year, I could see maybe a Baron Corbin. There's somebody that they're really, really high on. They want to push him towards the championship eventually. So if he's still on SmackDown, and if the main event for WrestleMania next year is with the Universal title, maybe depending on the title picture on SmackDown, give it to Baron Corbin.
Yeah, okay. Just last question, then I'll let you go. Okay?
Sure.
One more thing. Now that AJ and Shinsuke are on the same brand, where could you see them having the dream match, like the dream rematch? Maybe this year's SummerSlam, next year's WrestleMania, or like somewhere down the line?
I mean, eventually they're going to have that match. If you saw their Wrestle Kingdom match from 2016, that match was amazing. But as far as when they can have it, they can really do it any time. And I got asked this question the other day, should it be a championship match? It doesn't have to be. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, just them having a match together on a big show like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or maybe a Survivor Series if it's not the whole Raw versus SmackDown thing. Just them together, great. You don't have to put the title on there. You put the title on there, it makes it a bigger match, more important match. Cool. But as far as when it can happen, I don't know, because I don't know where their plans are going forward right now. I know with AJ, they want to put him back in the heavyweight title picture. Nakamura, he's feuding with Dolph Ziggler right now, and nobody's heard anything on what he's going to do after Ziggler.
Okay, thanks, Tim, for answering my questions. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call.
You too. See you later.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, I was actually wondering, plans for Cassius Ohno. Takeover was kind of, I feel like it was rushed into Takeover, and now he just kind of looks like he's kind of floating. Hideo Itami's probably going to go for NXT title now that it's looking at.
Right.
So it's kind of, I feel like they're already kind of lowering on the card.
I think, to be honest, he was a guy that he was there before, so he knows how the company works. And maybe they just brought him in because from what I've heard is they don't really have big plans for him. They like him. They know he's a good worker, but at the same time, they feel like he can help the younger guys coming in that don't have the experience. So maybe that's all he's there for. Maybe he's only there to help these younger guys, help the guys that are green gain the experience, learn things in the ring, learn how the WWE style of pro wrestling works. And as far as Hideo Itami, that is the plan. It will most likely, unless they change something, but I don't think they will because all the TV's taped, Hideo Itami should be getting the next title match against Bobby Roode at TakeOver Chicago.
Oh, okay. So do you think he will eventually get called up, or do you think he's just going to eventually run out of his contract and then...
That's a tough one because he keeps getting hurt. Because if you remember, WrestleMania 31, he was supposed to get the NXT title right after, or, well, really, to be honest, I think from things I have heard, when Finn Balor won that NXT title from Kevin Owens in Japan, that was originally supposed to be Shinsuke. Or not Shinsuke. That was supposed to be Hideo. Hideo was supposed to be that one getting the big push, getting the championship, and then eventually coming to the main roster. But then he keeps getting hurt, and so now they're just kind of like, you know, this guy can't even be around for 6 months at a time without getting hurt. What do we do with him?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was actually hoping for a Cassius Ohno Superstar Shakeup debut, but I guess that's kind of a...
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's nowhere near main roster.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Right.
Cause, I don't know. I feel like he's at where, you know, AJ Styles is and Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it just sucks knowing that, you know, he's staying on the lower card in NXT. It just makes me kind of mad a little bit.
Yeah, I can see exactly where you're coming from because he has such great matches outside the WWE. He had good matches his first run in the WWE.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of guys in NXT that you should say should be on the main roster. I mean, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Roderick Strong.
Aleister Black, whatever his name is. I like him.
Right, Aleister Black, who used to go by the name Tommy End. But him, yeah. I hear they may also be using for the UK show as well.
Oh, really? I heard another rumor about him being put in the Cruiserweight division.
I haven't heard that one. I don't know. Does he even fit in the 205 weight limit? Let's see.
He's supposed to, because he's touring with Raw, like, I think this month or next month.
Okay.
And
oh, yeah,
so,
he's right there at 205. That's what he's billed at. So he barely makes the weight cut.
Mm-hmm. So
no, they could do it, but I've also heard, like I said, that they want to use him in the UK stuff as well.
Oh yeah, is there any news about what's going on with that? Because I've heard absolutely nothing about it. Other than
yes. I'll get you the dates right now. They are filming when WWE does their next UK tour. UK show, WWE UK filming. I have the dates. Oh, where did I? Here we go. I think this is it. I know they announced when WWE goes and does their tour in May, they're going to be filming. That's not it. I don't know where I have these at. I had the dates. I'll look them up and I'll mention it.
All
right.
But
all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call. Have a good night.
Yep.
But yes, in regards to the WWE UK Championship show, when they do the next UK tour, which is supposed to be in May, I want to say, they are going to be filming for that UK. I just don't know where I have these notes at. I had the dates, but now I don't have them anymore. It's very weird. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, though. Jurassic Nick says he's going to bed. Have a good night. Derek Boak, have a good night. Philip Stevenson, do you think Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley come to WWE or go back to Impact? Alex Shelley is actually going to school right now. He's another one. So he's been taking kind of a back seat with his wrestling, not wrestling as often as he, used to. Chris Sabin, I'm not sure exactly what his plans are right now, but what was it? Alex Shelley said he's going to school for, I don't want to say physical therapy, but something similar. Might be physical therapy. Something along those lines. But yes, he's also another one like Maria Kanellis going back to school. A lot of these wrestlers are now trying to, they're thinking, okay, can't wrestle forever. I need something to fall back on eventually. Ruben's asking, when's Stephanie returning? Stephanie's taking a vacation here soon. And that's why she took the table bump at WrestleMania to get her off TV. She wants to spend a little more time with her family because Stephanie's somebody that, yeah, she's at TV every week. We don't see her on TV every week. But if she's not at TV a couple weeks, it doesn't hurt the product. Now, if Triple H isn't at TV a couple weeks, you might notice, something. But Stephanie not being at TV, it's fine. She wants to get a little time with her with her kids because, she's gone all the time. She's working all odd, crazy hours of the day. So, Walsh is asking about Booker T. And yes, Booker T will be announcing on SmackDown. Forgot to mention this earlier. He will be announcing on SmackDown for the next 6 weeks as David Otunga is actually filming, I want to say it's a movie. He's playing a lawyer, like a lead role lawyer for a movie. He's going to be filming that for the next 6 weeks. And in his absence, because WWE does not want to do a two-man booth with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, even though I think it would be great, Corey Graves, Michael Cole, just the two of them. Bringing in Booker T to be that third man on Monday Night Raw for the next 6 weeks. If you guys want to call into the show, the phone number is 559-475-8473. The line is open if you want to give us a call and ask us a question. Let's see. If you guys also want to help out Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you can go to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited, where you can donate to the show, but it doesn't cost anything to you. All it is it takes a couple minutes. You go to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. You interact with the website. You either watch a 15 or 30-second clip. You download an app. And then, boom, it helps us out. Also, you can hit the Super Chat button in the chat below if you're here on the live stream. Donate to us that way. Or you can visit our TeePublic store and get some of our merchandise. You can get our t-shirt. And any of our t-shirt designs you can get as a sticker, as a cell phone case, notebook, etc. It's all there. Link is in the description for the TeePublic store. All right. Robert Cathy says the WWE is sure missing out on a lot of money in merchandise without the Hardys being broken. That's for sure. That is really for sure. Especially when they announced that the Hardys were closing their personal merchandise store, and then they were also being dropped off of Pro Wrestling Tees because they signed with WWE. Their numbers, like Rebby was posting online, she couldn't keep up with the numbers when they said, we got a month left on our Hardys store. She was posting pictures and posting stuff about how she couldn't keep up with the demand because everybody wanted to get their Broken Hardy gimmick or shirts and stuff before they couldn't. Chauncey Bullock said 9,000. I don't know what that is. Ruben says we need a new general manager of SmackDown. I think we're okay there, Daniel Bryan. Daniel's probably going to be taking some time off, as he did say this week on Talking Smack that his little baby girl, Birdie, is supposed to be born within the next 2 weeks or so. Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella, that baby's coming. So Shane may get more of a prominent role on SmackDown for a couple weeks. I mean, yeah, Daniel only needs to be there 1 day a week, so maybe he can be there on Tuesdays and fly right back home. But I think they'll give him the time off he needs. Give him a month or so. Give him that time to spend with his new baby, Birdie Joe Danielson. Lucid says, got a question I did not see. Lucid says, I have a question about the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar triangle. After Roman loses at Payback, what do you think will happen with him till Mania? That's very unknown. I don't know. If you look at the Raw roster, who could Roman feud with? I mean, after Bray's done with Finn, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns could be good. We've seen it, but it could still work again. Roman Reigns, Miz. Let's see. Who else do we have on Raw? I mean, WWE really does need more big heels. But I don't know. I really just don't know who he can feud with on the heel side on Raw. Like I said, Miz, Bray Wyatt, unless they turn somebody. But I don't see them turning anybody. That is one big thing in WWE. They have a lack of big name heels. And that's hurting them a little. Philip Stevenson says Eric Young and his group, which is Sanity, should move up soon. And give them a couple more months in NXT. They've only been there since, what was it, right after Survivor Series? Robert Cathy says, what's the story behind Jeff Jarrett, Kurt, and Karen Angle? I really don't know the whole backstory about that. I know Karen had been telling Kurt for years, you keep going on this path of drugs and painkillers and drinking, I'm going to leave you, and it eventually happened. And then she was working with TNA and fell with Jeff Jarrett. I don't know exactly the whole behind the scenes story on that and how she ended up with Jeff Jarrett. And all I know is that for years, when Kurt left in 2006, the WWE, that his wife Karen was a big thing about that. She was like, you can't be gone so much, especially with what's going on with you and you being addicted to the pills and the drinking and getting the DUIs. And I know that was a big thing. He said, Vince, I need to leave. I need to spend more time with my family. And then couple months later, he showed up in TNA. So I don't know the whole behind the scenes story on that, exactly how that all went down. But yeah, Kurt's remarried, had a kid with his new wife, and he said he couldn't be happier. Noah Lore says AJ Lee versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Would work. AJ has no interest in coming back, but if she ever did, could work. Could work very well. All right. If you guys want to call in the show, we're going for a little bit longer here. The phone number is 559-475-8473. The line is open. If you guys have any more questions you want to ask here in the chat. Timothy Marcial says, what do you think the House of Horrors match is going to be? Honestly, I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say some sort of, cage match with weapons. Maybe similar to what we saw last year with Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. But honestly, nobody really knows. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE didn't have it fully locked in yet. Excuse me. But, Walsh says AJ Lee said she would never come back recently. She didn't say never, which she is very, very happy doing what she's doing now. Being home, writing her book, doing all her things. So, as of right now, she has no intention of coming back. And that has nothing to do with CM Punk. Her not wanting to come back is just her not wanting to come back. Has nothing to do with who she's married to and his issues with the WWE. And I don't think that would really... If she wanted to come back, I don't think WWE would say no to her just because of that either, to be honest. Philip Stevens says, what do you think of BJ Whitmer? Haven't seen too much of him. I've seen him here and there in TNA. What I've seen has been all right. I think Lives either last year or the year before when he did the stuff with Steve Corino was good. But like I said, I haven't seen too much of him. I know he had a big story with Adam Page in ROH. So, yeah, I haven't seen too much of BJ Whitmer, though. Lucy TV, did you catch the Amber Moon promo on NXT? What did you think of it? I haven't seen NXT this week, actually. I know I should have before I came on and did this stream. Just didn't get the time, though. Noah Laura says, Eddie Guerrero versus Shawn Michaels. How would you book that match if it did happen? Well, it depends on when. Which Eddie, which Shawn? There's your question right there. Is it Eddie Shawn from right before Eddie passed away? Is it Eddie Shawn from back in the 90s? Is it Eddie Shawn from when Shawn came back in 2004? It really just all depends on which Eddie and which Shawn, which era, which time. Chauncey Bullock says, hashtag beat up John Cena. All right. But let's see. Is there anything? Okie dokie. Well, I guess that's going to do it, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions for me. Let's see. Edgar says, do you think CM Punk will ever come back? I don't know. Like Goldberg said, never say never. But, I mean, if he were to come back, I don't think he would. You can't say never, but I don't think he would. He has said before he would consider himself a complete failure in life if he came back to the WWE. Now, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, could he change his mind? Could WWE change their mind on him? Sure. Timothy Marcial says, how do you feel about AJ Styles as U.S. champion? It ain't going to happen. He's going to feud. He's going to face Kevin Owens for that title. He's going to lose, most likely. That's how I see it going down. And then he's going to go and face Orton for the WWE Championship. Robert Cathy, why do they have KO hating on US now? Do they really need another US bashing Canadian in WWE? They did it enough in the Attitude Era. I don't know. That's just the new thing they're doing with him right now because he has the US title. It's if you think about it, it's what they do when they put the title on a foreigner. I mean, they didn't do it with Jericho because he was the babyface, kinda. But they did it with Rusev. And who else did they do it with? I mean, recently it was Rusev. Now they're doing it again with Kevin Owens. Lance Storm has done this. I mean, it was him, Christian, and Test. So this is nothing new. It's just a storyline that they're bringing back. Chauncey says, why did WWE not break up the Hardy Boys? Because they brought him in as a tag team. That's why they brought him in, because they wanted him as a tag team. Philip Stevenson, do you think PJ Black come back? He can, but I know right now he's under contract with Lucha Underground, so he can't. Lucid TV says, do you think they'll just thrust Charlotte into the title picture ASAP? There's a good chance of that. There's a very good chance that Backlash comes around and it's Charlotte versus Naomi. If that happens, I wouldn't be shocked one bit. But at the same time, I'd love to see the match. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
The Daniel Bryan situation, do you think they're going to let him back to wrestle for the company?
Not in WWE. I don't see WWE ever letting Daniel Bryan wrestle again. Now, could he leave the WWE, go somewhere else and wrestle? He can, because he has had doctors tell him he's okay. He's cleared by them. But as far as WWE doctors go, there's no way they're going to clear him to wrestle.
And the next question that I had is, when they bring Rusev back, are they gonna still have his character as as they had him on Raw?
With the handsome Rusev thing?
Yeah.
It's really unknown because if you watched the video packages this week on SmackDown that they did for him and Lana, I don't even think Lana was in his video package, and Lana's got her own new gimmick, so it's really a mystery what they're doing. I don't even know if they're going to be together. That's really going to be the first thing is, are they even going to be together? Because Lana has her own gimmick. There's talks of Lana wrestling on SmackDown, being a full-time SmackDown female superstar.
Yeah, that's true. But as I see it is, when they were brought on TV at first, they were both like, she was basically his manager, basically.
Exactly.
Now they're switching it up So she could be a full-time wrestler,
Right.
as well as him being full-time wrestler.
Exactly.
So how they had him before as the character like Lana was for him.
Right.
Basically a manager who's gonna be managing him when he comes back.
Rusev doesn't need a manager anymore, because when Rusev first came in, the whole thing was he didn't speak for himself. He had Lana there that spoke for him, and he was just the muscle. But now we know that Rusev can cut amazing promos. Rusev can cut better promos than more than half the guys in WWE. Rusev don't need a mouthpiece anymore. Rusev can talk for himself and talk better than a lot of the guys in the company already.
And I have another question.
Sure.
What his what Rusev's partner that he had as a tag team partner, do you think they're gonna let him go?
Are you asking about Jinder?
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal might be actually getting a singles push on SmackDown. They're going to do the whole Jinder Mahal versus Mojo stuff, and if that goes well, we may see more Jinder.
That could be a 50-50 chance.
Right. Because if you saw this last week, they did the whole thing with him and Mojo. He was prominently shown on Talking Smack, and he made himself known that, hey, I'm eventually going to be a champion here on SmackDown. So maybe he fights for that U.S. title one day. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. And the Ambrose and it being on the same show, do you think they're going to both feud?
I mean, they can eventually. It looks like they may be setting up Ambrose versus Miz for the IC title.
Yeah, that's true. But not only that, whoever's on the injured list may be coming back. As we all know, we don't know at this time who's injured, who's been on the injury list for quite some time now.
Well, I mean, Finn Balor may be on that injured list right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, we don't know the severity of that concussion and how long it could keep him out of action.
Yeah, that's true. And who do you think is gonna return in these couple of months?
I'm hoping Shelton Benjamin comes back. I know he has been cleared to get back in the ring. He was cleared right before WrestleMania weekend. I know that he wants to come back to WWE. WWE is very interested in bringing him back. I just don't know if they're going to maybe make him redo all his medical testing. If they do remake him do the medical testing, there's a month he's going to have to wait around. But we don't even know if they've talked since he's been cleared. But that's one that I think should be getting a look at to come back.
Yeah, they should bring him back. As far as that goes, do you think most of the TNA stars that they released or whatever, or some of the people that got tired of the company, do you think they're gonna bring some of the stars from TNA into their developmental company?
I mean, they can bring in anybody they want, but there's not really that many that actually left the company. I mean, Galloway's left. He's in. Drew McIntyre. Bobby Roode left. He's in. The Hardys left. They're in. Maria and Mike Bennett, I know that there has been talks. I don't know how extensive the talks have been. And then I think the other name that left was Jade, but she actually may already be coming back. I don't know exactly. So there's not really... People think more left than did, but not that many really didn't leave the company when Anthem took over.
That's true. And not only that, in the next year or two, do you think WWE is going to go out of business.
Oh, no. WWE is making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars a year. I mean, if you think about it, last year, just with ticket sales alone for WrestleMania 32, they made almost $18 million just off the ticket sales for WrestleMania 32. There's no way they're going out of business anytime soon.
When Stephanie's dad passes away, if he does, who do you think is going to take
Triple H.
the company?
Triple H will be the one that fully takes over when Vince is gone. Whether that be he unfortunately passes away or he eventually retires, Triple H will be the man in Vince's spot. 100%.
What about the wife? She'll be in charge of
Stephanie?
basically talent. Yeah.
I mean, she'll have a role. She'll probably just keep her same role.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't see why she has to take on any new roles just because her dad's gone. They just take Triple H, shift Triple H into Vince's role, and then take somebody and shift him into Triple H's role. But I don't see her taking any more of a prominent role. She could, but I don't see why she would need to.
I have a feeling that they're gonna do a feud between the wife and Triple H.
No.
That's just in my head. That's how I see it.
No, they're never going to do a Triple H versus Stephanie McMahon. They did that back in the early 2000s. It's not going to happen again.
Do you think in a couple years Cena's going to come back into wrestling?
John Cena? Cena should be back after SummerSlam, I want to say.
Have you heard any news on the Brock Lesnar and Strowman incident?
You mean the match?
What they're gonna do?
The match could be at SummerSlam, but I've heard sooner than SummerSlam. Payback is going to be Braun versus Roman, and then after that, Braun Strowman's going to feud with Brock Lesnar for the championship.
That's true.
So
but at the same time, this past Monday, Braun injured.
It's a work. It's not a real injury. Roman's not really injured. It's wrestling. It's fake.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But all right, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
You too.
Robert Cathy says, "What the heck is Global Force Wrestling?" Well, when Jeff Jarrett was kind of forced out of TNA, the company that he and his father started, he started another company. He started another wrestling promotion called Global Force Wrestling. He signed a bunch of former TNA guys and a bunch of up-and-coming indie guys from around the country, some guys from overseas, and he wanted to get on TV. He wanted to get a TV deal, so he went to what's the place called? The Orleans or something like that in Vegas, filmed a pilot episode, shopped it around to like Spike TV and other companies or other networks, and nobody wanted it. So he started just running random house shows at baseball fields and around the country. And then when Anthem bought TNA, they called him in and said, "Hey, you want to run this company for us?" And so Jeff Jarrett's now running TNA. So yes, Global Force Wrestling was the company Jeff Jarrett started after he left TNA because he still wanted to run a company, but he really had no success with it. So that's all Global Force was. Philip Stevenson, Benjamin and Haas come back as a tag team. No, I think Haas is done wrestling. Shelton, I like Shelton. Shelton should be back soon, I hope. Robert Cathy, Shane versus Triple H next WrestleMania. Hey, they talked about it for this year's WrestleMania early on, but it didn't happen because they've been wanting to do Seth versus Triple H. They could always do Shane versus Triple H. The stipulation would, or the situation would have to be right. I don't know exactly what you would do. I mean, what would it be like? Triple H trying to take over the company and Shane fighting for his father's honor? maybe. Philip Stevens said ACH and AR Fox to WWE. Haven't heard that at all. They could. I mean, anybody can come to WWE. I don't know. Don't know on them. I know ACH is still under contract at Ring of Honor. I'm not sure on AR Fox and what his current situation is. Edgar or Zaba says, you think there will be another draft before or after SummerSlam, or will they wait until a whole year and do it after Mania? I've heard late fall is the last I heard about another draft. I think if they do it before SummerSlam, that's way too soon. But I have heard some stuff about maybe late fall, October-ish. Maybe around Survivor Series time. No, Laura. Undertaker should write a book about his career in WWE. He could, but I don't see Undertaker being somebody that's going to just... Undertaker's books, if he were to write a book, Undertaker is very loyal to Vince and very loyal to the WWE. So it would be one of those books where it's just all going to be happy stories. He's not going to say anything bad unless it's just about a talent that's no longer in good graces with WWE. Unless it's... I mean, if something bad ever happened, which I don't know, but if something bad backstage happened to Undertaker, I doubt he would ever, out the WWE in a book. I could be wrong, but he's always been such a company man that I don't see something like that going down in no book. So, but, all right, guys, we're going to end this live stream here. We've been here for almost 2.5 hours. I do want to say thank you to everybody who joined us here tonight, everybody who called in, asked questions in the live chat. I want to thank 420 Sheezy Crash, Robert, Kathy, and the Champ 39 for their donations tonight. I really, really do appreciate that. Like, you guys don't even understand how much that helps me out. So, thanks, guys. Have a great night. Again, thank you for joining us here in this 2.5 hour live stream. We'll be live again next Friday. Hey, maybe we'll go live in the middle of the week again like we did this week. We'll just have to wait and see. But thank you. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And hey, we got like 6 videos dropping first thing in the morning. Have a good one.